Amy is with us in Seattle. Hi, Amy. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. I'm so thrilled to talk to you. My husband brought you up on our very first date, so you've literally been a part of our relationship from the beginning.
Your husband might be a nerd. Oh, my gosh.
He's a total nerd.
That's funny. I love it. How can I help today?
My question is about planning travel with friends. My friend and her husband have asked if we would like to plan a fun weekend, just the four of us. And we live on opposite sides of the country, so we'd probably meet somewhere in the middle. Mm-hmm. My husband and I are debt-free except for the mortgage, and we follow your steps and budget monthly and annually. Mm-hmm. They still have a significant amount of debt, and mm-hmm. while I know they're working to pay it off, it doesn't appear like they're following a really strict plan. We want to spend time with them, but we also don't want to enable poor financial choices that might keep them in debt. So mm-hmm. I was curious what you would do in this situation.
Well, okay, the conversation was not, hey, these people are trying to get out of debt, and you called them up and tempted them, and you pulled them off, they were on the wagon, and you pulled them off the wagon. That's not what's happening here, okay?
They initiated it, yeah.
This is people that on their own are doing whatever they want to do, and they included you, okay?
Yes.
So my rule is, if people, if I think someone, the closer I am to someone relationally, the more I'm apt to initiate something that needs to be corrected. Okay.
Okay.
But I've got a friend of mine that's probably worth, he's probably worth $10, $12 million. Okay. He's fairly wealthy. All right. But he still uses his credit card. We're pretty good friends, but he knows where I stand on that, and we go out to dinner, and the other day he picked up my dinner with a credit card. I'm not saying anything about that. He can buy my dinner. It's his choice. Now, I think that's stupid. I carry a debit card. I don't have any credit cards. You know that. But I'm not going to go, oh, no, get all up in his stuff, right? But now, if it's somebody that you know is completely being irresponsible, like they can't pay their light bill, their children are not got clothing because they're traveling. I mean, they're just out of control. I wouldn't want to participate at that level, but I think this is just somebody that's not got their act together, and maybe you spending time with them that week would be the first time they actually do understand what they're supposed to do. Maybe they would ask about what you're doing. And maybe that would help them get more intense when they went home, So I would do the trip, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think these people are like your best friends in the world, and like you would feel like you had harmed them somehow. These are they're friends that just don't do stuff the way you do it. But like another friend of mine bought it. He came up, drove his new car up to show it to me that day. He leased it. Well, I'm not going to spend the whole time talking about how stupid his leasing that car is. He didn't bring it. He didn't ask my advice. And I'm freaking Dave Ramsey, he didn't ask my advice. He just drove his car up there and wanted me to brag on his car. So that's what I did. I bragged on his car. Man, it's a nice car. It's a great car. I'm glad you got that car. And I didn't go, well, you're really being irresponsible leasing it, which he is. He shouldn't have done that. But I didn't bring that up. I just enjoy the car with him and then whatever. But again, if it was my closest friend in the world, probably before he did that, he would have said something to me, But this guy's just a friend. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like he actually
is my best friend, though.
Okay. Well, you have rings of things in your life. And the people that are in your closest ring, in the bullseye of the ring, right, are the ones that you've really got your arm around their shoulder, so it's pretty easy to pop them in the back of the head. Mm-hmm. So, but if she's that close to you, she knows what y'all are doing, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so you've already made your statement to her with your life. And in spite of that, they want to do this trip. Right?
That's correct.
Yeah, you're not gonna convince her of doing anything by not doing the trip. You're not gonna help her she's not gonna listen to you because you didn't do the trip. She might listen to you if you did the trip. And maybe the next time it comes up, you just go, we did the other one, but we just feel like we're endorsing this and we don't want to endorse it anymore. Because we think you guys are borderline irresponsible until you get your act together. But you may lose a degree of the friendship when you do that. You know that.
Yeah.
So I'm probably doing this one. You got to gauge it out as to how close you are and, and what you can pull off here. But what I'm always trying to think of is how can I have the most influence in their life, and have I earned the right with the depth of my relationship to get all up in their business? And that's, but generally the way I know that is somebody asks. Now, you guys on the radio, you ask. And so you ask for it, so I'm going to give it to you, right? I'm going to give you the answer. I'm going to step on your toes or whatever I need to do to help you. But that's what the show is about. It's a different situation. But if a friend or a relative asks, I'm going to be all in there. I'm going to help them. But those convinced against their will are of the same opinion still, my granny used to say. And I've always remembered that one. That's me trying to convince somebody to do something that isn't going to do it. They're just not going to do it. They just don't believe the way I believe. I got a friend that's a chiropractor, and he doesn't eat anything that's not a sprout of some kind, and I'm a carnivore. I eat like meat, and he thinks I'm going to die. Well, I am someday, but it's probably not from a hamburger. So he and I are just, I'm not as intense about my health as he is, and I don't view it the way he views it. But we can still be friends. But if every time I go out, he's trashing me about what I'm eating, then I don't want to go out with a guy anymore, because I'm going to eat a hamburger. Shut up. If you want to be a vegan or a vegan or whatever it is you're going to be, that's fine. I'm a carnivore. That's cool. I'm not going to pick on you about, about the fact that you don't really have any red blood cells. I'm not going to pick on you about that. But, but it's fine. My buddy Seth Godin he doesn't eat meat or whatever. He's not a full-on vegetarian. What do you call it when they eat only? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, I can't keep up with all the names people have for themselves. But Seth, he eats real healthy. He's a little skinny guy. And, he probably thinks I'm some kind of like Fred Flintstone character with a big pork chop on my plate or something. But, we're not going to argue about it. He and I are friends. He's fine with that. And I'm fine, and I guess he's fine with me being a carnivore. I hope he is, because I am, and I'm probably going to continue to be, like here in the next few minutes, probably. So that's the way I look at this stuff, Amy. I don't know if that's help. I feel like I'm babbling, but there's this whole thing about accountability that came up, particularly in the Christian world several years ago. First time I saw it big time was back around Promise Keepers. Everybody needs accountability. Yeah, you need accountability, but the only way that someone's accountable to you in your life is that you've earned the right to speak into their life by loving them well and by having a relationship with them. Now, in your case, Amy, this is your good friend. You have earned that right. I'm not questioning that. But then how can you be the most effective at assisting them? You may never be. You may be like my friend, the chiropractor. He's never going to talk me out of eating beef. It's not going to happen. I will die at 96 years old from my beef eating, so it's just not going to happen. I'm not mad about it, but he and I, if all he brings up is that all the time, so you can earn the right to get so far, and then at a certain point you accept people for where they are and you move on. And that includes this financial stuff. And so I don't beat family members up. Why, you're in Dave Ramsey's family and you don't do this stuff? Most of them don't, by the way. Most of you that listen to this show are a whole lot more stringent to what we teach than my own family is. Now, I'm not talking about my kids, but I'm talking about my extended family. And so that's okay. Still love them. They're still family. It's still part of the thing. So that's the way I do it, Amy. Just a little more kick back, and I'm not going to fret about other people's business quite so much. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.